first time, he's going live from all across North America. The countdown is official. 100 days until kickoff. Robert Marawa is going global, and hashtag MSW will be there. Will you? 100 days. Get ready. Comfort ends where Marawa Sports Worldwide begins.
Siyaphinda siyakhala as Kaizer Chiefs supporters. Unfortunately, ke thina sizothatha decision ku boardroom. Sizawuthatha decision thina ngalendlela sicinga into yobizaba effective ngalo, because when we speak to them sibacela into yoba account baze kwezi shows zenu, they don't do that. We're going to fire these coaches ngokwethu because bona bayoyisakala. So they must brace themselves.
Will you take the decision? How are you going to take that decision?
If it's shaking sport, we are already on it.
Diego Brevis, there's a man underneath it. South Africa yet again sending a message that they are real contenders for this title.
Hashtag MSW.
Lifelong supporter of the Buccaneers, Helen Ziller, joining us. And I thought you were a vegetarian.
No, you can't go to a Shisanyama and be a vegetarian. Robert, come on.
Oh, no.
Tell you what shocked people was when I jumped up with my beer in my hand because I was celebrating the first goal, Boremi's goal. And now people are saying, I shouldn't have jumped up with a beer in my hand. That was a Heineken Zero. So everybody can calm down.
The zero was for Chiefs.
Yeah, the zero was for Chiefs, yeah.
Strong opinions, strong sources, strong sport.
First time on your show, coming back to the Soweto Derby, like one of the previous callers said, the good, the bad and the ugly. It's more like the good and the useless. Chiefs are gone from being one of the most powerful teams in South Africa to one of the teams that every other franchise in the Premier League, the Betway Premier League, wants to beat and will beat the way the club is being run now.
You guys are fearless.
Robert Marawa. Let me start by saying no one can or currently is going to resurrect Kaizer Chiefs. The two wise men or unwise men are lost without their master. They betrayed, being Coach Nabi.
Hashtag MSW. No protection.
Rob, Chiefs management has been making anti-football decisions for years, and the poor results proves everything. Until the club is clear and there's meaningful improvement in the technical direction and the overall performance of the club, I'm going to refrain from purchasing any merchandise or attending future games of this club because we are not being respected. I mean, it's an insult. Come on.
This is where sport breaks, bends, and gets told straight.
And if Chiefs is on the training ground, they're playing 11v11. Me, I support the class. I support the class. I support the soccer ball. I'll never support Kaizer Chiefs. I'll never.
Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live.
Oh, man, what a moment. What a moment. But also, guys, it is how many days to the World Cup?
He's got the ground, he's got a penalty.
The countdown is official. 100 days until kickoff. Robert Marawa is going global, and hashtag MSW will be there. Will you?
That's the big question. Will you be there? 100 days to go before the FIFA World Cup. It's an unbelievable thing. I didn't think it would get here. You look at things and what's happening globally and you think, is it going to be there? And you know what? I don't know. But it's 100 days, whatever that means. It's 100 days until the FIFA World Cup. 100 days until South Africa plays against Mexico. That's the bottom line. This is Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
Let's go! The moments you remember. The games you can't forget. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets. The voice, the legend, the man who brings the stadium to you.
He's a man who is not afraid to take responsibility.
In just 100 days, Robert Marawa embarks on an epic journey. For the first time, he's going live from all across North America. From the frozen venues of Canada to the high-energy stadiums of the USA and the passionate crowds in Mexico. He will be your eyes and ears, pitch side and on the field. The countdown is official. 100 days until kickoff. Robert Marawa is going global, and hashtag MSW will be there. Will you? 100 days. Get ready.
Have you bought your tickets to the FIFA World Cup? I mean, are you even having that conversation with the family? I have no idea. But one thing I know that this man has been to a World Cup. He's actually scored the very first World Cup goal. And that's just how important and significant tonight is. Hey, we welcome a legend whose life story is as dramatic as the goals that he scored. I mean, from the ganglands of the Cape Flats to the glittering arenas of Europe, from the roar of Bafana Bafana to the ultimate glory of the UEFA Champions League. I mean, he is South Africa's all-time, when I say all-time leading goal scorer, I joke not. The only South African to ever lift something truly, truly special. I mean, he's lifted many things, but there's one thing that he lifted that is of such high significance. When you lift that, then you know. Untouchable. And guess what? He is South Africa's all-time leading goal scorer. The only South African to ever lift this grand prize of the UEFA Champions League. A trailblazer on the pitch and now a leader shaping the destiny of nations from the touchline. If you go back in time, I mean, he burst onto the scene in the mid-90s, announcing himself to the world with breathtaking brilliance at Ajax Amsterdam. He conquered Spain. And then under the ruthless genius of the special one, Jose Mourinho, he helped FC Porto shock the footballing nation when this happened. It was the main event indeed. He kind of stood tall. He delivered on the World Cup stage. He delivered in the Premier League, finishing just behind Didier Drogba in one unforgettable season. But his journey kind of goes beyond football. I mean, it's a story of resilience, of defiance, of a man who refused to bend his principles. He's faced gang bosses. Yeah, it's there. It's in the book. I'm not lying about this. He's challenged administrators. He's clashed with coaches. And through it all, he never stopped blazing his own trail. And now with his autobiography, Benni McCarthy, written with the veteran journalist, Mark Gleeson. I mean, he's finally telling the story. Finally, guys, as it has never been told before. The triumphs, the controversies, the complex world, often misunderstood love-hate relationship with Bafana Bafana. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome South Africa's most successful footballer, the country's only UEFA Champions League winner, and also a man who continues to shape the future of African football, Benni McCarthy. Yes. Hey.
Thank you, Brarabs.
Sure.
This is feel like home to me.
Yes.
Me and you, we go a very long way, so it's always a pleasure and a privilege to be on your show, to sit here with you, because you know my story probably better than as good as I know my story as well. So Thanks for having me.
What a privilege, man. Thank you for dropping by. I know it's going to be a whirlwind time. Firstly and foremost, you are now an author. You are an author, Benni McCarthy. Wow. Congratulations.
From the Bundesliga in Cape Flats, from the Cape Flats to being an author, having my face printed on a book. It's, I think there's nothing greater than to see that your hard work has paid off. And now you just want to tell your story to kids.
Yes.
That's in the similar situation, coming from where I come from the townships, from Soweto, from the Cape Flats, that anything is possible, You don't limit yourself to nothing. And with will, determination, and just self-belief and hard work, it is possible, People might not gamble on you, but as long as you gamble on yourself, then you can do it. And I'm living proof of that, because I didn't have nothing, and to am where I am now. And now I'm see my face in bookstores, and never thought that would happen. But it's the biggest feeling that you can experience.
You talk about people gambling on you. A lot of people did that believed in you. But from a footballing perspective, and you tell the story so beautifully in the book about Mishak, Mr. Executive from Jengega, that when he spotted you, he spotted a genius. But I was also shocked that as much as he brought you on board and he looked and searched for you, the man didn't even play you.
Yeah, that to me is the biggest shock and probably my biggest disappointment, because obviously, like growing up, my uncles, my dad, they loved South African football, Chiefs, Pirates, Sundowns, so they knew all the legends. I didn't. So when it was spoken about Mishak and the light that they spoke about this man, it's like, how could I not know who this man is? And then I went and did my research, and he was an ultra Pirates legend, So for me, it was just, I would have done anything to play for this great legend, and that he would be the one that discovered me, because he did. But then when I got there, it was just, the biggest disappointment was he didn't believe that I was ready enough, or he didn't see something in me that he thought that, even if he throws me in, let's see what happens. It was just, I had to wait my time, and then eventually frustrations kicked in. And when you're a young kid, and wherever I've played at my amateur club level, I was standout. And then I was coming there, and in training I was standing out, but I was just not getting that opportunity. And that was for me the biggest disappointment. But I have no resent. I have only love for him, because I think if it wasn't for Mishak spotting me and chasing after me the way he did, I don't think I would have ever gotten my opportunity, and Gavin Hunt wouldn't have been that coach to give me my first opportunity to play me in a official, back in the days, a NSL match. So I would forever be grateful and thankful to Bramishek Nchaneka, because he saw something that not many people have saw at that level, and he gave me that opportunity, and he brought me to 7 Stars. So I've only got great things to say about him, but unfortunately he wasn't the one that
gave you the break.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's the irony, though, because and the beautiful thing about talking about a book is that we also don't want to give too much away. We must tease enough for people to go and read the book, because everything is stacked there. But I've got to say, Gavin Hunt was a complete opposite of what Mishak was, because he came in and took over and saw you at training, and he had no doubt. He just said, you, kid, you are going to be starting come the weekend. So here's a person who knows football, was a former football great himself, just like Mishak Mjenega was. But Gavin's mind is different. Gavin has a desire and a hunger to see desire and hunger in somebody else, and he gave you that.
Yes, no, definitely. But I think it was a little bit similar to Brajay, Jomo Sono, for example.
Yeah.
Very, very same concept. Gavin had almost nothing to lose, but everything to gain from seeing something in training, and then, okay, he's not been part, but he trains really well. He thinks he can kick it. Let me throw him in. And the gamble paid off massively. I got released, and almost like the shackles came off, and boom. And who takes the plaudits? The coach, Gavin Hunt, for taking that risk. And in Bafana situation, it was very similar. Clive Barker came to the under-23s, came to the under-20s, watched and saw all the talents, and every single time he came, was always very complimentary about me, towards me, and he eventually gave me my opportunity, brought me into the setup of Bafana, but I could never break in to that squad. Yes, I understand there was class players, the late Chapa Masinga, Sean Bartlett, Mark Williams, Paulo Ndlanya. They were doing exceptionally well at club levels and for the national team. And then here's this young, scrawny kid who's shining in the under-20s, but does he really have it at first team level? Again, not believing that I could make it, and to see what would happen if you give him the opportunity. And it didn't happen. And again, frustrations grew within me because I just felt like I'm being kept behind. So it's better just to leave me at under 23s, leave me at under 20s because I play every game. When I come to the national team in the first team, I don't want to observe and watch and see other players excel, and then I'm not learning anything from that. So I was better off to play there. And then when Clive Barker left, Jomo came in, and it all changes. Jomo again, training sessions. So listen, everybody's talking about this kid, but why hasn't he been released? Yeah. And then Jomo came, boom, threw me in there, and voila.
And Ouagadougou happened.
And Ouagadougou happened, yep.
But let me go back a few steps, though, because it's ironical that you here today, tomorrow you launch your book officially, and tonight, the Class of 96 series hits its last series, and you are the main star of that series tonight on Netflix. I'll play what Jose Mourinho says about you in a second, but I want to talk about Clive, though. Why do you believe that Clive did not play you as much as he knew? He knew, even in conversations I had with Clive many years down the line, is that he knew what a great player you are and were at the time. But an honest appraisal as to your observations and saying, Clive Barker did not play me because of what?
Loyalty to his players, and I can respect that, and I think now that I'm in this situation as a coach, loyalty does go a long way. If players have done exceptionally well for you in the past, it is hard, really difficult to take them out and put somebody younger, sharper, better in that terms.
Isn't that risk, though? As a coach, shouldn't you take that risk at some point?
Yeah, but I guess that blind loyalty sometimes, you're meant to do that, but you stay through and you stay loyal to the boys that did it for you. And listen, I'm not mad. I'm not mad about it. I'm disappointed because I felt that I maybe lost a year or two. I could have shown what I can do at a much younger and a much earlier stage. It just held me back a little bit. But I also understand because, these players, the class of 96, what they've done for the country, but what they've done for Clive, it is hard to go against that, to betray your players that's done everything for you. So I've got nothing but love, and respect and admiration. And all I can say to that is it was, at the end of the day, it was his loss, because
it was our loss.
Yeah, but I still managed to get to where I was going. It just took me a year later or 2 years later.
A year later and 2 years later is 20 caps. 20 caps would have moved you from 80 caps that you retired having gotten to 100 caps. It would have moved you from the 31 goals that you still top goal scorer with and moved you to 50 goals. Time. Yes, you can't rewind time. So I'm saying that, it was his loss. But I'm saying, because I watched you play at 7 Stars, I know what the skinny kid could do. That skinny kid could have turned and made us world beaters. Hey, almost said something. So Jomo comes in, understands young talent, puts young talent where young talent should be on the field. What goes through your mind? Because surely now you're losing your mind and you're saying, I'm not going to score 2 goals, I'm not going to score 3 goals, I want to score 4 goals in a game. I want to become top goal scorer in a tournament. What's going through your mind at that stage?
It was more just to show people when you believe in someone, when you trust, when you give a person that opportunity to go and prove their talents. That's why you've put them in the team. How you would be rewarded. And I would do absolutely everything within me to make sure that I never disappointed that coach that took the shackles off me and gave me that opportunity. So, yes, I was always in and around the 96 squad, but I was a ball carrier. I was carrying their boots. I was learning, observing from them, but I really wasn't part of them because, they were the ones that was playing and you were just on the peripheral. You were watching, observing, and when your time comes, so that's why for me, when Jomo eventually gave me that opportunity, there was nothing in the world that I wouldn't have done for that.
When you come back from the break, please don't go anywhere. When we come back from the break, we pick up the pieces of the Benni McCarthy. The book is out with Mark Leeson as the author. Forward by Jose Mourinho. I mean, star-studded book for a superstar himself.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW. Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Democratic Alliance, D.A. Merrill, candidate for the city of Johannesburg, a lifelong supporter of the Buccaneers, Helen Ziller, joining us to relive her Soweto Derby experience, reflecting on her journey. 41 points, 18 games played. Now, who has it within them to go all the way to match day 30 and lift this trophy?
Well, I do think that Orlando Pirates will do it. It's been 14 years, or it will be 14 years by the end of the league, since they won the PSL. So I do think they're going to take it all the way. They look as if they've really got the form, the energy, the joy, as you say, the joy in football that I think will carry them through. They can always remember Happy Jele. That was a lovely, joyful name of that incredible captain for so many years. So yes, all of that joy was fantastic.
#MSW. #MSW.
He's in a league of his own.
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
And it goes through to the boundary.
This is where sport breaks, bends, and gets told straight.
All of us there have our smallanyana skeletons.
#MSW on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live.
It's got the ground. He's got a penalty.
The countdown is official. 100 days until kickoff. Robert Marawa is going global, and #MSW will be there. Will you?
That's the biggest question of them all. If you're just joining us, it is #MSW Marawa Sports Worldwide. With now author Benni McCarthy. Hey, all on a very good day where he talks about his book, where we are celebrating the 100-day countdown to the FIFA World Cup, where South Africa will be playing. He also celebrates, the 6th and final edition of the class of 96 of where who but him? He is the superstar of this episode. So I'm looking forward to watching that.
When you look to a striker, you try to be very pragmatic and you go to numbers, you go to goals, you go to crucial goals, you go to goals in big matches, you go for the player that can make a difference. But I always say that there are some strikers that score goals. If they don't score, their contribution is zero. And there are other strikers that when they don't score, their contribution is still high. And that was Benni. He was more than a striker, he was a good football player, so he could play in other areas. I don't like to compare players, especially not to compare players from different generations, but when you see, for example, some guy like Karim Benzema dropping back, being the link player, attracting defenders with his movement, open spaces to other strikers.
Pulling people away from,
This was Benni, very intelligent player, so even when he was not scoring goals.
Even in the forward, Jose Mourinho says that I know about Benni and his background and the way that he has fought through adversity. But in the end, I think it is about the person, about the player, about the way that they take on life. They He says there are some who, when they're still playing, keep a certain balance, but when their careers end, they go back to where they came from and they go again in the wrong direction. Benni kept his stability. He's a good man and a good coach. He found a way of keeping and being happy and staying in his natural habitat, which is football. He says, I like humble people and I like loyal people. I like people that don't forget the ones that gave them a hand when they needed it. Sure. Powerful words. I mean, that's part of the foreword of the Benni McCarthy book. This is Jose Mourinho we're talking about here. And when you hear him say what he said in the clip, when you hear what he said in the foreword, I've just taken a little bit of that out. What does it say about the relationship you guys had?
Rob, he really touched me. Because he got me at a point where I was very vulnerable in my football career, because I had early success when I left South Africa and then went to Ajax. It was unbelievable learning experience, and I kind of grew up and wanted to tackle the world. And then I went to Spain. It started off amazing, and then it just completely went downhill like in an instant. And I couldn't understand. I knew the language barrier was a problem, like the culture. It was hard to fit in. So I tried through football, and football wasn't enough. You know, when you not Spanish and you don't look like them.
Was it that hectic?
It is tough. It is tough.
Because I know in the book you talk about them almost being semi-scammers at a negotiation level. I mean, you guys are busy negotiating and they're trying to put another thing and you agree on one fee, and then what they give you at the final contract is not the fee that you had agreed to, and you guys are walking out, they're chasing after you, they want to pay you in cash and not deposit money into the bank account. Hey man, this is a movie.
Exactly. It really was like, if you miss one click, you're taken. You know, so you always have to be on your feet. You always have to be really sharp. But it was more the fact of, you know, that you're far away from home. You don't have your family. You don't have nothing. And people make you feel that you don't belong. You know, so it was tough. It was really where you locked yourself indoors. I wasn't going out. I wasn't going anywhere because, of course, I don't want to be called a monkey constantly. And hey,
were you being called that though?
Was negro, vete pa tu país. And it's your own fans, people that you know that support the football club, but because you don't look like them, you black, and it was really hard, and I think nobody's ever seen me that vulnerable, you know. So I used to cry every day when I come back from training. Why do I even go to training? I go to training, I try and be the best that I could possibly be, kill the coach's tactical sessions because I destroy the team when I'm in the reserve team. I destroy them so that, you know, that it messes up his tactical sessions. When I go home, I was like, I don't want to be I'd rather just pack up my bags. I go the contract and go to hell, and I'll find another way. That was how I had it in at Celta. And then came Porto. So then I shifted alliances.
So before you get to Porto, though, what are you saying is something important, because it's also something that is currently grabbing the world stage. You know, so what a Vinicius Jr. is going through, when you see that, you probably look at it and say, I know, I understand, because I was Vinicius Jr. when I was in Spain.
Yep. 100%. I sympathize with the kid. And then, today is even worse with social media and how it goes out worldwide. When I was there, no one did nothing about it. Or no one could do nothing about it because it was norm. It was kind of the norm. Like, you know, bananas get thrown at you. It's like, how strong you are. Do you just pick it up and chow one? for the spectacle, or do you just kick it and block the noise out and block it out and just go and play your game because you're there for football? You're not there to listen to people calling you whatever they want to. Football, what brought me here, and I didn't come here to fail, so I want to succeed. And no matter what people try, you just have to be strong against it. But now, we have a bit more protection, and people make noise about it on social media, and people rallying behind you, which is great. So it's nice to see that the game is almost where you kind of fought all those years for it to be where it is, where we want to be called, we want to be equal. We do the same job, we work the same hard. So why does one class does this and the other, So I'm glad to see that the game is kind of heading into that direction. It's still not where it's supposed to be, but at least people are doing things about it. When I was there, nothing get done, and you just have to get out of, you just have to get on with it. So that was it. So I did have a torrid time at Celta.
But what do you think is a good enough punishment? So when I say good enough punishment, is that will be befitting of a racist, a typical racist who's a football player should get what? What kind of punishment?
In sports, there shouldn't be any place for that. So if active players and people want that to be, just kick them out of sports. Simple.
Ban them for life.
Ban them for life. And if that's the road that you take, this has been taken from you, Yeah. And I think that kind of punishment would open people's eyes and says, if that's me, if I lose the opportunity, get kicked out of the team, nobody wants to touch me, and then you will start seeing slowly but surely it will start to deteriorate, because players would be scared if those kind of actions is taken against you. But until if you don't do severe punishment, I don't think people's just going to be, I didn't mean it, I'm not this, I'm not a racist, I'm not that, but I can gradually just call someone a monkey, but so it's always going to be, you apologize for it afterwards, and then slap on the wrist and small suspension and a little fine here, and then you move on with it, and then you go, and then it happens again and again and again, and same punishment. But I think when it's a severe punishment, that's when I think people will start taking a little bit more seriousness to this.
I agree with you. I agree 100%. We can go on one knee all we want for as long as we want. We can wear the armbands saying no to racism, put up the banners that say no to racism, all we want. These are just slogans. Slogans do not change society at all. But because your story is so colorful, hey, you journey now to Portugal, because I think when you mentioned it, you mentioned it with a smile. It's almost like there's a sense of relief that, sure, I'm leaving this place that really drove me up the wall, and I'm going to new uncharted territories. What are your expectations now? You're transitioning, you had made the effort to learn Spanish as a language. Now you have to go to Portugal and have to start a new language and everything else.
Yeah, but the language was quite similar. So by then my Spanish was good. And if I can have a decent conversation, the manager can go in tactical details with me, I understand, which really helped me. Mm-hmm. And then going to Portugal was a little twist in the language, but the hearing, everything, I could understand them good, So it was okay, a new challenge. Let's see, what I can do here. If I'm the same person, if I'm the same attitude, the same mentality that I had at Celta Vigo, was to train harder than anyone else. Whether I play, good. If I don't play, that's the manager's problem. But I'm not gonna give him an excuse not to play me, or why he says, but Benny is not playing because he's training rubbish. No. That was never the excuse. It was personal reasons for them why they didn't play me, so it was okay. So then I went to Portugal with the same mentality. First day in training, and everybody just looked and says, okay, now we understand why he played in La Liga, because that's the standard. So the standard when I came in was my training was compared to Porto that was used to winning championships and titles, but now they were getting a player whose training was there. And I think the guys very quickly, oh, hermano. And in Spanish, it's hermano. And in Portuguese, it's irmão. So first they didn't know me from a bar of soap. That's the way he trained in the dressing room. Hey, brother, what's up? You good? And already a massive difference in teammates' behavior. I was a brother. I wasn't just, hey, negrito, And the name calling, Blackie or Negro or whatever, what you see, what black players, African players hate, Europeans do to them, as when you title them as that, you don't call them Benny. They never called me Benny. I say, hey, Negrito, hey, you understand, always by. So you endure it, you take it, because it is what it is. In Portugal, it was completely different. The respect that I got was instant. And of course, you start, okay.
Smiling.
Yeah, smiling. And I'm like, they for real, they genuine. It wasn't an act and a faith. And then when the manager came, was the first manager ever who had a conversation with me on the training pitch, explaining to me, but with his arm around me. It felt awkward when that happens, because you like just, so you don't know how to take it, and hey, how's your family, and your mother is alive, your father, and you know what, when that, he breaks you.
Wow.
They break you when they ask that, because it's like, okay, you're asking me about my family, I've been suffering and hiding myself in the house, and I'm making appear that everything is fine, but when I go home, I'm depressed and I want to quit football. That was what I was going through. And then they just with small gestures calling me brother, and
so you're being accepted now.
Yes.
And you're part of the collective. So being part of the collective is what we're going to be talking about when you come back. Yeah, it's a gripping story. That's why I'm saying that you gotta lay your hands on this book. I couldn't stop. You know what? I finished it, Benny, in one sitting. I won't lie. I was not gonna be like, hey, put a bookmark. Let me read the second part tomorrow. Let me leave it for Thursday. I'm like, what? Let's roll. Let's rock and roll.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW. Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Democratic Alliance, D.A. Merrill, candidate for the city of Johannesburg, a lifelong supporter of the Buccaneers, Helen Ziller, joining us to relive her Soweto Derby experience, reflecting on her journey. What is so great about them? What made them look so good?
Well, they had brilliant defence in the first place. I mean, Sebele Bele was totally brilliant in defence and set up those fabulous goals. And in the 5th minute of the game, very early, Tshepang Moremi scores. And then Oswin Apollos, many people were saying he should have been man of the match because of his 39th minute score. And then Evidence Mahopa just rounded it off, and that was magnificent. And I thought Seaport Chain, or Chaine is his real name, but everyone called him Chain. Chain. Yeah, no, I thought he was absolutely marvellous.
#MSW. #MSW. When the game needs a voice.
Rob for president, that one, no, we are going with it.
It speaks right here on MSW on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live.
Now I have just 3 questions. First question, I read somewhere that Benny might join Rulani at MSLJ. Is that true? Another question is that is he open to coach Kaizer Chiefs if that offer comes? Because that team need a coach, man. That team need a coach. Lastly, after World Cup, boss is leaving South Africa. So can he take Bafana job or they want to coach club level, not national team level? Thank you, Marawa.
Already shots being fired here. Didn't waste any time.
He fired 3 dangerous questions as well.
The airspace is not safe here, guys. The airspace is not safe. And there's no trumpet around. But let's do it very quickly so it's painless. Rumors about you joining Rulani, yes, no?
Yeah, there was interest from USM Alger. I had a few calls and from people within the club and agents that works for the club. But in the end, you know how football. 1 minute it's hot and then the next minute it just it swings the other way.
Fizzles off.
Yeah, it fizzles out. So it was a very hot rumor, and there was some talks about it, but nothing materialized. And then I think they kind of went for a French-speaking coach, which for me was also a bit of an obstacle, because I'm that kind of coach, they want to have man-to-man conversations with the players, the culture. They must experience how I am. And then to do that via a translator is super tough. They don't get to experience who you are as a person, because the translator is always translating for them, so they don't get the ins and outs. So, yeah, there was a lot of factors that I kind of considered. That was, firstly, yes, I want to go back into club football. I want to manage, because I feel like I miss the day-to-day and making players better, working closely with them, and, just upsetting other coaches and other clubs. I love doing that. I thrive on that. So at international level, you don't get to do that on a regular basis. So,
sounds like you miss Mission Integral, eh?
I miss all the coaches. I miss Eric.
Hey, you and Eric almost dondering each other every single time. But
I miss, but it's just the rivalry, because they bring out the best in you. They're very good coaches. I miss coaching against Coach Pizzo, miss Rulani, because, they bring that element of,
they brought the edge out of you.
Yeah, because they've got good teams. They've got teams with resources, and you with your smaller nyana timpi. But, tactical, I miss that.
But, here's a club. They got 2 co-coaches who were former assistant coaches for another coach. And so I would say they got no coach.
Who are we talking about?
They need a coach.
Who are we talking about here?
Kaizer Chiefs.
But they're happy, man.
How are you happy? You've come back from being beaten 3-0 by your former team.
But it's football. It's football. In football, things happen. Yes, I can understand the frustrations, because Derby Day is a massive and important, and I think they didn't cover themselves in glory after the weekend. But listen, they're a good team. Very good players.
But that's an opportunity for you. You're a good dribbler. I don't want you to be dribbling me in studio.
If nobody came knocking on my door, that means that they are happy. You're happy with what you have, because if you come and knock on someone's door or you approach them.
But what if they did? What if Kaizer Mtaung Jr., who's the TD there, comes
There's
knocking?
a lot of what ifs. What ifs to me don't exist no more, because I've been in plenty of situations, even with Orlando Pirates, very close to managing Pirates after playing career, and then nothing materialized. So I kind of don't. What ifs? No. If they want, they know where I am. They know where I am. They know where to find me. They know how to conduct, to make it happen. But if not, rumors and that, it's just a rumor.
I pause, because this is not a what if. it's something that's going to happen. So as we celebrate 100 days to the World Cup, right? When that World Cup is done, Bafana Bafana will have no coach because the current coach has said he's done. Will Benni McCarthy be wanting to be the Bafana Bafana coach post the World Cup?
Coach Pitso has my vote for that. I think he deserves another opportunity. He's the most prestigious coach to have come out of this country. You know, he's done amazing. He's done remarkable wherever he's gone. His record speaks for itself, and he's opening the doors like I did in football as a player, opening the doors for South African players to Europe, that they want to have the same kind of products that Benni McCarthy has done as a player. They want to have those talented football players coming from South Africa. When it comes to coaching, Coach Pitso has done that, opened the doors for us, you know, to be able to go there. And I think he was young. He was fresh into his coaching career when he got that opportunity to manage after the 2010. So I think now the experience, the knowledge that he's gained, he would be my ideal coach for Bafana if they decide to go in that direction. Me, like I said, this experience in Kenya has been unbelievable. It's been remarkable. It's been nice, but I think I'm too young to go so long without being active. I'm every day on the training pitch.
Smell the grass.
Yes, I want to improve players. I want to give, and I feel that it is holding me back from doing that because you don't have enough time with players. Like, I've not seen them 3 months. When I see them, I'm only going to have a week to do what I can with them. And no. I think when I get to Hugo Bruce age, then I want to go back into national team. But after this experience with Kenya, I'm really looking to get back into managing club.
You won coach of the season managing AmaZulu, who didn't even win the league, but because of the great work you had done, you won it, and hands down, you deserved it. Nobody was arguing about that. Is that journey with AmaZulu something you cover quite extensively in the book? How important was it? How disappointing was it? Because, you know, the irony of what you did at AmaZulu versus you then keeping away for some time and then, boom, Manchester United.
Yeah, but AmaZulu hit me hard, though. Hit me hard because I saw the capabilities that could have done. It is the biggest supporting team in that region, and it's the region that's the most passionate about football. And I just love people live and breathe football in that area. And you know what? Sandile sold me a dream, you know? So when he didn't hold up his end of the bargain, it was soul destroying. It was soul destroying because from what we built, from where the team was, when we came in, how we changed the mentality, we changed the mindset. Those players didn't feel that they were rejects anymore, you know? When somebody believes you, when somebody gives you that opportunity, you knock down every door, and that's what every single player had in that team. Like, I look at Sitebe, exceptionally well. Then he leaves. He don't get the coaching that he got. A coach that understands how you deal with a player like that. And he came to Kaizer Chiefs, failed miserably. Went elsewhere. A lot of the players, I can name names, that's gone from the pinnacle to disappearing off the face of the earth because, you know, and that was just because the club never kept their end of the bargain. That's why that was able to happen. And so it made me sad because I thought we could have snuck into the Sundowns, Dominance, Pirates, Chiefs, the top South African teams, like the standout teams. And AmaZulu could have snuck in there and be, as the EPL is, have a Man City, Liverpool, United, Arsenal, Chelsea, 5 top guns. South Africa could have had that as well. And Sandile just missed the trick there.
When you say he sold you a dream, explain that.
Yeah, because the open checkbook, bring in the players that we can build this team to compete with the Sundowns, the Chiefs, the Pirates, And at first, if you've got a team, they don't just go and get rid of them and bring in a complete new. Just give me the chance, give me the time to work with these players and then see what we can do until the end of the season. And then you see how good your team is, how good your players are, and what you need to take them to the next level to bring in a couple of new additions. So I wasn't trigger happy that I wanted 10, 15 new players in. I wanted to work with what they had, see if we could salvage of those players what I think they would still be left in. And then the end of the season, we make a decision then on, okay, who we think is good enough we keep, and then who do we think we can still bring in to improve the team. So then when I was able to work with that same team, I didn't bring one single player. As a matter of fact, I brought in one player from when I joined, and that was Sexton Kalinga.
Oh, yes.
Was the only player when I joined AmaZulu that I brought in that I thought, this is a player that can help us, But the squad was stable. It was good enough. It was good enough for what we needed. But if you want to go on and challenge Chiefs, Pirates, Sundowns, then you need a couple of new additions. So he kind of just left me to do that. And I did that with flying colors. We finished second, qualified for the Champions League. Now I'm looking for him to say, Coach, I promise you an open checkbook. Now let's see which players we can add and which players we release. And then the tune just changed.
But why do you think it changed, though? Because that's when they should have run on the back of your back-to-back victories with TP Mazembe, for example. Very difficult team for anybody to beat. Why do you think the tide turned?
Because I
finished so high.
Because I've proved that I don't need money. I don't need to bring in top-class players. I can work with what there is and make them better. And that's to show your coaching ability, your coaching skill, how you improve a player and how you make a team work. You improve the player, and that always, when the players improve, they improve. Everybody improves the squad. So then so that was like, it didn't cost them a cent, really. It just made them money because we finished second in the league. You get a hefty bonus. If you win a quarter, you get, and I think we won 2 quarters, you win hefty bonuses for that and qualify for CAF Champions League. That's also a lot of money in. So, coach, you've got this. You don't need to bring in more. You can work with that. You've proven now. Now you go out and do the same. But you know your obstacles. With that same team, there is limitations to, now we're entering the traveling with CAF. We're going to play Champions League, so we need to bring in at least 5 or 6 players to also make these players up their game. And they just didn't want to do that.
Would you say it's the same or similar approach to a Kobe Mainoo, for example? I mean, he is a young player that you would have worked with, or a player that Amarim didn't want to give a chance to, but here we are. He's playing every game. Man United are winning every game. He's winning the duels. What's happening there?
Every manager is different. Every manager, Ruben Amorim obviously didn't favor Kobe Mainoo. He probably every day in training because he saw the players. He saw the player every day. in training and just felt that his system that he played suited Kobe in a certain position, and in that position is exactly, unfortunately, the same position where he wants to play Bruno. And then Kobe has to compete for that position. But he wasn't going to change his system to slot Kobe in. So Kobe had to fight with Bruno, and everybody knows you're never going to win that battle.
Yeah. All right, let's somebody's got a quick request. I can't believe we're running out of time.
Good evening, Rob and MSW shareholders. Not forgetting the legend Benni McCarthy, I just have one request. Remember, not even a line, remember his part in Shibobo. Can you please do it for us? Great show as always.
Your part was not silence. Hey, your part was not silence. You don't remember? Oh man, Benni McCarthy, the book is out, officially being launched tomorrow. You're excited, this man? He's here to unpack, and wow, I mean, what a book. So many voice notes, guys. Please forgive me, but I could see the questions you're wanting to ask. Benni McCarthy with Mark Leeson, forward by Jose Mourinho, saying Benni had everything that a coach loves in a player. I wish you everything of the best in the whirlwind tour that you're going to be taking this book around. We as South Africans are excited. I hope you're excited. And we'll be back again with you soon to talk all matters to do with football. It's going to be a bumper 2-hour show, that one. Congratulations again, Benni.
Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart, Brother Robbie, for always giving me the platform. And, I really appreciate it. And I couldn't have started off this campaign, the showcasing of my new book, with you. So thanks for the platform. Thanks for your time, and I really appreciate it. And we definitely are due to have a 3 or 4 hour show one day.
I love that. Love that. Guys, listen, go get the book. It's as simple as that. There's so many stories. The 98 World Cup, the coach that took over then. Benni says, you know what? I have never, ever come so close to wanting to punch. It gets that graphic. Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
The drama, the action. Let the game begin. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets.